Have you ever thought about how close failure and success really are? Let's take a moment to ponder on that. What if I told you that failure isn't the opposite of success? What if I told you that failure is, in fact, an integral part of success? It's a paradox, isn't it? The paradox of failure and success. You see, we've been conditioned to view failure as something to dread, something to avoid at all costs. But the truth is, failure is often the stepping stone to success. Think about it. If you never fail, you never learn. If you never learn, you never grow. And if you never grow, you can never truly succeed. Failure is the university of life. It teaches us lessons that success never could. It humbles us. It tests us. It forces us to dig deep and tap into reservoirs of strength and resilience we never knew we had. It's time we redefine our relationship with failure. Instead of running away from it, let's embrace it. Let's see it not as a dead end, but as a detour that leads us to the path of success. So the next time you stumble, the next time you fall, remember this. You're not failing. You're learning. You're growing. You're evolving. And that, my friends, is the first step towards success. Consider the stories of the greatest achievers. They all have one thing in common. They failed. They failed not once, not twice, but countless times. But they didn't let their failures define them. They let their failures guide them. They understood that every failure brings with it a seed of equivalent success. They understood that failure is not the end, but the beginning of a journey that ultimately leads to success. So let's celebrate our failures. Let's cherish them. Let's learn from them. Because our failures are the foundation upon which our successes are built. Indeed, the line between failure and success is often blurred, and one can lead directly to the other. Consider the story of a young athlete who couldn't make it onto his high school basketball team. In the small town where he grew up, basketball was the heart and soul of the community. He was passionate about the sport, but despite his best efforts, he struggled to keep up with his peers. His shots were often off the mark, his dribbling skills were subpar, and he was always a step behind on the court. He tried out for the high school basketball team, but his lack of skills led to his swift dismissal. For many, such a rejection could have been a crushing blow. But for our young athlete, it was a wake-up call. He saw his failure not as a sign to give up, but as a challenge to overcome. He decided to use this setback as fuel for his ambition. Every morning before the break of dawn, he would be on the court, practicing his shots, honing his dribbling skills, pushing his body to the limits. Every evening, under the dim glow of the streetlights, he'd be there again, shooting hoops until his arms ached and his body screamed for rest. He was relentless in his pursuit of improvement. His dedication did not go unnoticed. His classmates began to see a transformation. His shots were sharper, his movements faster, his understanding of the game deeper. He was no longer the boy who couldn't keep up. He was becoming the player to watch. When the next season came around, he tried out for the team again. This time, he wasn't cast aside. He made the team and soon became one of its star players. His journey didn't stop there. He continued to work hard, to push himself, to strive for excellence. His determination and resilience eventually led him to become a professional athlete, inspiring many with his story. His initial failure was not a dead end, but rather a detour on his road to success. Or perhaps consider the tale of an entrepreneur whose first business venture was a spectacular failure. Our protagonist is a bright-eyed, ambitious woman named Lisa. She plunged into the world of entrepreneurship right out of college, with a dream to create a revolutionary tech startup. Lisa poured her heart, soul, and every last penny of her savings into building her dream. But despite her best efforts, the venture fell flat. The product didn't resonate with the market, and the investors pulled out. Before she knew it, Lisa was standing amidst the ruins of her dreams. Her startup had crashed and burned. But here's where the story takes a turn. Lisa, even though heartbroken, didn't let this failure define her. She didn't wallow in self-pity or let the world label her as a failed entrepreneur. Instead, she picked up the pieces of her shattered dream and began analyzing what went wrong. She started learning from her mistakes. She examined her failed venture, not as a painful memory, but as a case study. She identified the gaps in her business model, the lack of market research, and the premature scaling that led to her downfall. Armed with these insights, Lisa embarked on a new journey. She started a new venture, this time in the education technology sector. She applied the lessons from her previous failure, adjusted her strategies, and approached the market with a new perspective. And as fate would have it, her second venture was a resounding success. Today, Lisa's company is a leading player in the edtech industry, impacting millions of lives worldwide. Lisa's story is a testament to the fact that failure is not the end, but merely a detour on the road to success. It's a reminder that setbacks can be setups for comebacks, and that every mistake carries a lesson. Lisa's first venture might have been a failure in the traditional sense, but in reality it was an invaluable learning experience that paved the way for her success. Her failure was not a downfall, but a stepping stone to her eventual success. Let us delve into the journey of an author whose first manuscript was rejected by multiple publishers. Imagine, if you will, an author, not the successful shining figure we admire on bestseller lists, but a fledgling writer penning down his first manuscript. This author, brimming with ideas and passion, poured his heart and soul onto the pages of his first novel. He believed in his story, in the characters he created, and in the impact it would have on its readers. However, the publishing world did not share his enthusiasm. The author sent his manuscript to publisher after publisher, only to be met with rejection letters. Each one was a blow, a harsh reminder of the disconnect between his vision and the commercial reality. But he did not let those rejections deter him. Instead, he used them as fuel to refine his craft, to make his writing sharper, his plot more engaging, his characters more relatable. He toiled day and night, perfecting his manuscript, driven by a burning desire to tell his story. He faced rejection not once, not twice, but dozens of times, yet he remained undeterred, firmly believing in his story and its potential to resonate with readers. And then, one day, after countless revisions and numerous rejections, a publisher said yes. That yes was the start of a new chapter in the author's life. His book hit the shelves and quickly climbed the bestseller lists. Readers fell in love with the tale he had fought so hard to tell. His story, once rejected by many, was now celebrated by millions. His journey was not an easy one. It was paved with rejection and criticism, but he persevered, driven by his passion for storytelling. Each rejection was a lesson, each no a stepping stone leading him to his ultimate goal. His rejections were not the end of his journey, but the beginning of his path to success. His story serves as a shining example that failure is not a dead end, but rather a detour on the road to success. Each of these stories is a testament to the intricate relationship between failure and success. They echo the enduring truth that the path to triumph is often paved with trials and setbacks. The struggling athlete, the failed entrepreneur, and the rejected author, each one experienced defeat, yet they didn't let it define them. Instead, they embraced it as a part of their journey, a stepping stone to their ultimate goal. Their stories highlight that failure isn't a pitfall, but a ladder, each rung bringing us closer to the pinnacle of success. It's a lesson, a teacher, whispering the ways we can improve, adapt, and grow. It's a motivator, pushing us to strive harder, to reach further, to be better. So remember, the next time you face a failure, don't view it as a setback, but rather as a stepping stone on your path to success.